When Emily Flippen first stepped onto the beaches of Survivor, she didn't look like someone destined for a heroic arc. In fact, if you had asked her on day one whether she thought she could win the game, she likely would have laughed. Now, reflecting on her journey and the wild unpredictability of the island, Emily has made a candid confession that perfectly sums up her experience. If I win Survivor, something crazy has happened. It's not false modesty. It's not a strategic deflection. It's Emily being Emily's, analytical and brutally honest, and in many ways, that's exactly why fans can't stop talking about her. From target to contender. When viewers first met Emily during Survivor 45, she came in sharp, skeptical, and unapologetically blunt. She questioned alliances. She openly challenged other players. She didn't sugarcoat her thoughts. In the early days of the game, that approach painted a target on her back. Many players would have folded under the pressure, but Emily didn't. Instead, she adapted. That evolution became one of the season's most compelling storylines. She went from being on the outs to becoming a key strategic voice. Instead of clashing with everyone, she began forming meaningful relationships. Instead of letting paranoia run her game, she leaned into calculated thinking. It was the kind of transformation that Survivor fans love to witness, a player who starts rocky but grows in real time. Something crazy has happened. So why would Emily say that winning would mean something crazy happened? Because she understands how unpredictable Survivor truly is. Unlike physical powerhouses or obvious social butterflies, Emily doesn't fit the traditional mold of a winner. She's hype, she's transparent about her insecurities, she doesn't naturally blend into the background, and that's precisely why she believes a win would signal that the game took an unexpected turn in Emily's mind. Victory wouldn't come from dominating challenges or charming everyone effortlessly. It would come from navigating chaos, capitalizing on shifting alliances, and surviving moments where the odds weren't in her favor. In other words, if she wins, it means she outmaneuvered the madness, the power of self-awareness. One of Emily's greatest strengths is her ability to assess herself honestly. Many contestants enter Survivor convinced they're masterminds. Emily entered knowing she had blind spots. That self-awareness allowed her to pivot. When she realized her blunt approach was isolating her, she recalibrated. When she saw that emotional intelligence mattered just as much as strategy, she leaned in. When she felt vulnerable, she didn't deny it, she adjusted. Winning Survivor often requires growth, and Emily's journey was growth in action. A different kind of threat in modern Survivor. Flashy gameplay often grabs headlines, big idols, dramatic blindsides, bold speeches at tribal council. But subtle strategy can be just as powerful. Emily's game became quieter, more deliberate. She wasn't necessarily pulling every string, but she was influencing decisions. She asked the right questions. She listened carefully. She absorbed information. That's the kind of threat that can sneak into the final tribal council. But it's also the kind of threat that can be overlooked. That's where the crazy factor comes in. For Emily to win, the jury would need to recognize the nuance of her game. They'd need to appreciate evolution over dominance. And that doesn't always happen. Survivor's unpredictable nature. Part of what makes Survivor endure after more than 2 decades is its unpredictability. Favorites fall, underdogs rise, alliances implode overnight. Emily understands this better than most. She's seen how one conversation can shift the entire trajectory of a season. One immunity win can rewrite the endgame. One emotional speech can sway a jury. So when she says a win would mean something crazy happened, she's acknowledging that the path to victory isn't linear, it's chaotic. And sometimes, chaos favors the adaptable. Fans love and underdog viewers have increasingly embraced players who show vulnerability. Emily's willingness to admit doubt makes her relatable. She doesn't present herself as flawless. She doesn't pretend to have everything figured out. She acknowledges that the game can outpace even the smartest strategist. That humility resonates in a show built on deception and bravado. Honesty feels refreshing. And that might be her secret weapon. Growth as a winning narrative. Emily were to make it to final tribal council, her story would be powerful. She could argue that she identified her weaknesses early and worked to fix them. She could demonstrate how she built trust where there was none. She could explain how she shifted from target to decision-maker. Jurors often reward players who evolve, and Emily's arc from skeptic to strategist might be one of the strongest narrative cases of the season, but she's realistic. She knows narratives don't always win. Sometimes juries prioritize challenge dominance. Sometimes they reward big, flashy moves. That uncertainty fuels her crazy comment, playing Without illusions, what sets Emily apart is that she doesn't romanticize the game. She understands luck plays a role. She knows timing matters. She recognizes that social chemistry can't be forced. That grounded perspective might be her greatest advantage. Players who believe they're entitled to win often falter. Emily approaches the possibility with cautious disbelief. If I win, she suggests, it means everything lined up perfectly. And in Survivor, that alignment is rare. The emotional toll beyond strategy. There's the emotional toll. Living on minimal food, sleeping in the rain, constante paranoia, strained relationships. Emily has spoken openly about how mentally taxing the experience is. Winning wouldn't just represent strategic success. It would represent endurance. It would mean she survived the psychological pressure. It would mean she handled isolation, doubt, and hunger better than anyone else. That's not just crazy. That's extraordinary. Why she might be underselling herself ironically. Emily's disbelief might be misplaced. Her analytical skills give her clarity. Her growth demonstrates resilience. Her honesty builds credibility. These aren't weaknesses. They're winning traits. Sometimes, the players who doubt themselves the most are the ones most capable of self-correction. And self-correction. Is survival. The modern Survivor jury. In recent seasons, juries have shown appreciation for layered gameplay. They've rewarded subtlety. They've recognized social maneuvering. If that trend continues, Emily's path becomes less crazy and more plausible. Her game isn't about theatrics. It's about recalibration. And recalibration can be deadly in a game built on shifting sands. What winning would mean for Emily personally. A win would symbolize transformation. It would mean stepping outside her comfort zone and thriving. It would mean proving to herself that adaptation matters more than first impressions. It would validate the risks she took to change her approach mid-game. And perhaps most importantly, it would show that self-awareness can triumph over ego. The beauty of the unknown at its core. Emily's comment captures the magic of Survivor. No one truly knows what will happen. Favorites can crumble. Long shots can rise. Strategy can backfire. Luck can intervene. So yes, if Emily Flippen wins, something crazy has happened. But maybe that crazy is simply the game working exactly as it should. Unpredictable, ruthless, transformative. Final thoughts. Emily Flippen's journey proves that Survivor isn't just about strength or charm. It's about growth. Her candid belief that a win would require chaos isn't defeatist. It's realistic. It's humble. It's strategic. And in a game where overconfidence can be fatal, that humility might be the most powerful move of all. Whether she ultimately claims the title of sole survivor or not, one thing is certain. Emily Flippen has already defied expectations.